Hi, I'm Paul, the running shoe guru. This is Marathon Handbook, and this is the new Clifton 9. The shoe is $145 or £130 in the UK. Cushioning has been increased, so the overall stack height is up 3mm. We retain the 5mm drop. In the men's version, we have 32mm of stack in the heel, dropping to 27 in the forefoot. In the ladies, 29mm in the heel, 24mm in the forefoot. So they retain the 5mm drop. Weight, men's coming in at 246 grams, approximately 8.7 ounces. We've got a new upper as well. Hoka said this is where some of the weight reduction has been made. The weight reduction is only around 4 grams over the previous version, so it's not drastically noticeable or different, to be perfectly honest. But we have got a nice engineered mesh upper. You can see it's kind of like a dual layer construction. So we've got a layer with the holes cut into it sitting underneath the mesh. It is very nice, it's very light, very breathable, and I think it's probably a better overall fit. The tongue is nicely padded still, so the tongue's a little bit thicker than the rest of the shoe, and it's gusseted in on one side, so that provides a little bit of support and stops the tongue from moving on the medial side under the arch. The Achilles heel tab, this flare outwards, a really nice feature. I kind of like that in a lot of shoes because it does remove the pressure from the Achilles, so reduces any irritation if you have an issue there. So that's something to consider as well. It's a daily mileage neutral shoe as always, so that's unchanged. And the cushioning still comes from compression molded EVA. Now for me, that's probably the only criticism of the shoe. The overall ride and feel is very familiar. You don't notice the extra stack of cushioning. It does have a nice step-in softness to it, and on the run it runs very well. But this is the 9th version of the shoe, and Hoka have essentially been using compression molded EVA for those whole 9 versions. And I just think in this day and age when we have more advanced, shall we say, more responsive materials available, it's about time that we got something from the Clifton. It's almost 10 years old. Maybe we're going to find a new Superform or responsive TPU based material in the Clifton 10. They might be saving that for the anniversary perhaps. Early stage Meta rocker in the heel, so basically cut away a little bit, not dissimilar to pretty much every other brand on the market. Meta rocker is a phrase that Hoka seem to have coined as a marketing term for themselves, but the ride of the shoe feels very familiar. Outsole coverage is very good, improved a little bit. You can see these shoes have got around 50 miles on them, very little signs of wear. In the past we'd had issues with some scuffing to the exposed EVA, but plenty of outsole rubber coverage there, so durability holding up very well. Running in the shoes for everyday training miles, I found this shoe really nice, to be honest. It's very comfortable, you cannot escape that. It's a neutral shoe. I normally wear a shoe with a little bit of support, but no such issues so far in the Clifton 9. It's when you want to come and pick up the pace a little bit, that's when I kind of notice the difference between a shoe like this and some other models. So things like a Ghost 15 even, which is still using a compression molded EVA base material, but it's Brooks DNA material, that does have a little bit more pop and responsiveness to it. Things like the Mizuno Wave Rider as well, a little bit more pop from their material with the energy foam looked in there. So it's a nice shoe. I think it could be better, and I think that's a compliment to the shoe and to the brand. I think it could be improved. We could have a nicer foam material, an improved, more up-to-date foam material for the midsole, and we could perhaps put a nicer sock lining in the shoe as well. I know a lot of Hokas have a very thin sock liner to them, so that's an instant win on improving that. Otherwise, fans of the Clifton 9 will love it. I think it's an improvement on the previous model, and I think it will sell very well. There's nothing really to dislike about the shoe. I'm just hoping that the Clifton 10 uses maybe a PIBA or a TPU based material, maybe a combination, a dual layer, who knows, and that will give it that extra responsive feel, and that will make what is already a very successful shoe really fly. So this is the Hoka Clifton 9.